Okay, so I wanted to talk to you just a little bit about the built-in analytics for your website because Squarespace does have that built in and they are helpful, although I still recommend that you plug in Google Analytics because they're more accurate. But in the interim, analytics built in for Squarespace will do just fine in the beginning. So this is my Asheville template, and if I were the owner, I would log in and click analytics, and that's where all of the information is going to be. Now you can decide what you're looking at as far as the time frame up here on the left and the right, and then on the left in the menu, you've got all these different options. So because there's not a shop set up for the Asheville template, there's not going to be any sales because this is a demo and no one's going to be buying anything through the demo anyway. But on the traffic, you can see that it's starting to pick up visitors that are going to look at the demo. So you can see how many visits, how many unique different people are contributing to those visits, and then how many page views they've looked at altogether. You can also see what device type they're using, where they're coming. So they're coming all from directly to the source, which means they're clicking on the button in my website that goes directly to it. And then you can tell what browser they're using and what operating system too. So all pretty helpful information. And the reason why I would say, especially your device type, is really helpful is because that will give you a good idea of how to optimize your website. If it needs to look the best on desktop or the best on mobile. And there are different ways to do that. In fact, there's a module dedicated to how to optimize your website for mobile. And so if you feel like your visitors are going to be mostly mobile viewers or mostly young people who use their phones a lot, I would definitely go check out that module. And if you're not sure, it's not the end of the world. Just launch your website to the world and then keep checking back on the analytics to make sure that you're understanding your audience the way that you think that you are. So here you can see the vast majority of the traffic for this website is desktop users, and a smaller percentage is on mobile. You can also see where these people are coming from, and in my case, they're all from the United States. But as people start visiting your site from other countries, they will start showing up in the list too. You can also look at your sales by product, your purchase funnel, so that'll show you like how they're going through your shop. And then if you're on I think it's a Commerce Plus or whatever, Commerce Advanced, I think it's Commerce Advanced plan, you can actually see who's abandoning their cart and then email them and ask them why they decided not to purchase so that you can make your checkouts faster and simpler and easier and make the decision easier for people so that they want to buy from you more frequently. Then there's also your traffic sources, so you can see where people are coming from. Again, in this case, they're coming directly to the website from a button on my website. So it's not so much helpful in this particular view, but if it were your website, you might see, like for instance, mine, I believe it's 80 to 90% of my traffic comes from Google searches. And in here, you can actually see site searches, Google searches, and you can see what keywords people are using in order to find your website. So those are all good things to know. Search keywords. This will work once you've connected Google to it. So you have to actually connect your site with Google Search Console. And then this is a tutorial that walks you through how to do that. There's other search engines as well, like Yahoo and Bing and whatever else. Your activity log shows you every page that every person is going to within the last, I think it's about 7 days. It does not save this information. You can't jump back into time. So you only can see the last 7 days worth of activity. But it can be helpful because it shows you what people are actually looking at. So your popular pages, essentially. Form and button conversions, you can see what buttons people are clicking on. And then there's popular content. So it tells you at a glance which pages are the most popular from the traffic that you're getting. And then site searches. This will be specifically keyword searches that people use on your website. So if you have a search bar, this would be all the searches that people use that search bar for within your own website, not with Google, not with Yahoo, not with Bing, on your website. And all Squarespace websites have a built-in search function, even if they don't have a search bar embedded. So for instance, that would look like that. So it's whatever your, oops, because I'm logged in, it didn't do it, but yeah, it did. Okay, so because I'm logged in, it pulled me back into my account, but the search is always going to be whatever your domain is, and then /search. So that's pretty easy to find out. That means that you could actually add, let me just do that real quick while I'm thinking about it. So in your footer, you could also include a search link, and you could even my widget thing's not working, so let me pull it up the old-fashioned way. Symbols. I think it's objects. There we go. So you could have something super simple like that at the bottom, and then if you link this to your search page, which if you're on your website, then you don't have to enter the entire URL. You just enter the / and then search, and that's the slug for that page. So if you hit done and save, then viewers will be able to click that and it goes to the search page. So you don't actually have to have an icon up here in your header or in your footer or anywhere. You can create whatever you want that to look like yourself. So that's pretty handy. Back in your analytics, there's one more thing, your RSS subscribers. So if you have a podcast that's feeding to your blog collection page or a blog post section, anything like that, people can subscribe to your RSS feed. And it'll be interesting to pull this up from time to time and see how many people are actively subscribing to your data. But that's about it for the built-in analytics. And if you want to hook up your Google Analytics, the way to access that is to go to Settings and then Advanced and then External API Keys and then enter your Google Analytics number here. And it will start with UA- and then some alphanumeric code probably. You can also do Google reCAPTCHA down here. So that's something else you can set up. Both of the tutorials for these things are already linked in your settings. So you can access those pages from here. The reCAPTCHA thing, it's really helpful to have that turned on for your forms if you don't want spam robots to fill out forms and submit them to you, which hasn't tended to happen to me specifically, but I know that it does. So it'd be a good feature to turn on if you're planning to have lots of forms throughout your website. So that's all there is to analytics. If you have any other questions about it, there's great articles in the Squarespace answers section in their forum and their help and support areas. So definitely Google your questions. And if you have anything specific you'd like to ask me, you can just pop it in the discussion area of the course.